Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Sarah Little. I'm Director of Business Development at ASTA and NACTA, and I will be the organizer for today's presentation. We are happy to welcome today's presenter, Erica Bradley from the Travel Corporation. Before we get started, I'd like to point out a few important features on your screen that will allow you to interact with us via the web. We will be answering your questions at the end of the presentation. To ask a question, you will use your GoToWebinar pane. Near the bottom of this pane is an area that says Questions. If you click on the arrow next to where it says Questions, it will open up a window pane, and that is what you will use to communicate with us. If you are having trouble hearing the presentation, please make sure that your speakers are turned on. If you called in, try hanging up and dialing back in again. You can send me any technical issue via the Questions pane, and I will try to answer them. Please note that all audience members are muted. We certainly want to hear from you, but we have so many people on the call that the background noise would be prohibitive, and we want to ensure that everyone can hear the entire presentation. Finally, please note that this webinar is being recorded and will be available for your on-demand viewing via YouTube by early next week. Now, let's get started. It is my pleasure to introduce Erica Bradley.
Thanks very much, Sarah, and good afternoon or good morning to those of you on the West Coast with me. As Sarah said, my name is Erica Bradley. I am Director of Communications and Special Projects here at the Travel Corporation. I'm coming to you from not so sunny Southern California today, but we'll take it because we don't get that much of a weather variation here. So I'm very excited to be with you. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to spend just a little bit of time learning about the Travel Corporation and our family of brands. All right, so make sure we're progressing here. Sorry guys, for some reason the slides are not advancing. Give me just 1 second. There we go. All right, sorry about that. So today's agenda, so what we're gonna do is give you a little bit of an overview of who we are here at TTC. You might be familiar with our brands, but a lot of our travel agent partners aren't familiar of how we all fit together under one parent company. Then we'll give you a brand overview just so you understand a bit more about the brands, some again that you may know, others you might not be as familiar with. We'll show a cruise to TTC brand comparison. We know that a lot of our agent partners sell cruising, and so we feel this helps give you an idea of how your agents or your clients that are cruisers might fit into one of our brands accordingly. And we'll talk about some agent tools for you as well. We'll go over any questions, and then finally, at the end of the webinar, what we're going to do is ask a question from content that we review during our time together, and the first person to answer it right will get a $50 American Express gift card. So good luck to you guys. So who we are. So at the Travel Corporation, we're very proud to be a family of award-winning brands. We have a lot of really excellent travel companies under our care, and they all have done such a beautiful job with their products that you'll see some of today, and have been, very proudly awarded since. Our family, our company, has been family-owned for 4 generations. So we're a private company owned by the Tolman family, who are all very much involved in the business still, and are very, very passionate about travel and everything that we do. And their passion for travel extends to our whole team. As you'll see in our logo, our tagline at TTC is driven by service. That's service to you, our travel agent partners, and service to your clients, our guests, who are really the heartbeat of everything we do. We want to maintain those relationships, give them the best experience possible, so they'll continue to come back to you for more and more business. And we actually are proud to say that we consider our teams, we have some really excellent unparalleled knowledge. For example, our travel directors and tour managers that you see across our brands go through one of the most rigorous trainings that is in the industry. So we're very proud to do everything that we can to ensure that your clients are experiencing their travels with absolute experts. And as I mentioned, our Driven by Service tagline is really, and we mentioned that is service to our travel agent partners. And there's a very big reason for that. 90% of our business globally is sold by travel agents. So our relationships with our travel partners is our primary concern and care, and we want to do everything that we can to properly support you. And finally, in today's world, we know that sustainability is very important, not just on an individual level, but on a corporate level. And so we are committed to sustainable travel and conservation as much as we can. And part of that commitment is through our Tread Right Foundation. So Tread Right was created as a joint initiative between the travel corporations. You'll hear me say TTC, which is how we refer to ourselves, between our family of brands. And the foundation is a not-for-profit working to ensure the environment and communities we visit remain vibrant for generations to come. By providing grants, to organizations that encourage sustainability in different destinations. And we hope to maintain the natural attractions and unique heritages across the world that define each of those regions. TreadRight's proud to have, the lady here that you see on the right of your screen is Celine Cousteau. She's a leading environmentalist, adventurer, explorer, and she is our brand ambassador. So we're very proud to have her support for all of our initiatives. And since TreadRight's induction in 2008, we're very proud to have supported 40 sustainable worldwide sustainable tourism projects, and we will continue to do that throughout the years. All right, so today we're going to spend the majority of our time talking about our brands. So there's going to be 8 that we're discussing today. 4 that you see here are the larger of those brands, Trafalgar, Uniworld, Insight Vacations, and Contiki. And we're also going to talk about Luxury Gold, CostSaver, African Travel, and Brendan Vacations. But before we do that, we get a lot of questions about, well, how do your brands fit together, and how do people maybe travel with different brands, and what do the different audiences look like? So we came up with this very simple grid that really just shows what we like to call our brand bell curve. And so what this does is show how a guest might travel through our traveler brands as they go through different stages of life. We look at it on kind of 2 different, reference points here, one being the audience starting with youth travelers all the way to seniors, and then the other being the price range, which the line you see there at the bottom, starting from your clients who are on a budget all the way to those who are looking for some indulgence. And before I go, I'll give you a super quick high level of this, but it's important to know that there is crossover. We see different walks of life, different budget categories, seniors, all that stuff on a lot of these different brands, but this is just a general guide. So we really started Contiki, that's our youth travel brand, which we'll go into, and so I won't go into too much detail about each of these brands since we'll do that in just a second, but you just can kind of see how one might journey. So Trafalgar and Brendan Vacations and Insight at the top there, those are the brands that really have the widest reach and the widest demographic set, where we see a lot of different people, from families to young travelers, all the way to people who are seniors, really travel within those 2 brands quite often. The brands that you see towards the bottom of the curve, those are where we get to be more specialized. So African Travel is our custom safari company. It's a really high-end luxury product, very, very cool. And we know that African safaris are more of a once-in-a-lifetime type of vacation, where what you see through Insight, Trafalgar, Brendan, and Contiki to an extent as well. You see a lot of crossover in people that will go on multiple trips with those brands over multiple years. So let's dive into it. So we'll start by You by Uniworld. And the reason that we're going to start with You is because this is the newest brand in the group. So You by Uniworld had its kind of an inaugural soft launch at the end of last year, and is just about to embark on its first cruises in April. But the biggest news is when Uniworld was first launched, it was launched as a river cruise line for 21 to 45-year-olds. And just in recent weeks, that's actually been opened up to travelers of all ages. And we're really excited to be able to do that, because we've seen a really good response to this brand. The ships are very, very cool. The experiences are a little bit different than what you see on normal river cruises, including Uniworld. And so we just got a lot of feedback that, hey, I have clients who aren't within that age bracket that really want to do this. Can we open it up? And so we're proud to have opened this up and to welcome all travelers on board. So we'll spend a bit more time on You just because they're the newest brand. So why would a client consider a river cruise with You? So it's starting small because, again, it's a newer brand. So we're cities in Paris, Eastern Europe, and then actually we're just going to be doing Vietnam as well coming up soon. Those aren't for sale for 2018 just yet, but it was just announced that Vietnam is going to be added to the lineup. It comes with all of the things that river cruising includes, like hassle-free travel. You get right in the city center. Excellent service. Uniworld is known for its service, and that service has certainly crossed over to You, the new brand. And they consider You specifically really good for foodies. So this is just a quick look at where You by Uniworld goes. So there's trips in France, there's trips in Austria, Hungary, Slovakia, Germany, and Netherlands. There's 8 cruises total, but that combines what they call their super cruises, which if you look online or in their brochure, combine some of their base itineraries to create larger ones for clients who might be wanting a longer trip. So the ships are really what make You by Uniworld very different and cool. So there's restaurants, there's an onboard gym with regular yoga, there's 2 bars, and there's a separate coffee bar. really, really cool rooftop decks. There's lobbies, an amazing crew, beautifully appointed rooms. And then onboard life is really very exciting on U by Uniworld. So there's chef's table cooking classes. There's a silent disco, which is really fun. Activities like paint and wine parties, which have become really trendy, mixology classes, and of course, Wi-Fi is available across everything on the ship. So that's U by Uniworld. So we're all really excited. We hope that you guys will sell the brand and get on board with it. I think that your clients will really love it and be really happy. And again, it's no longer restricted to just 21 to 45-year-olds, but is now open to all ages. So we'll go ahead and jump into Contiki. So Contiki is our youth travel brand. It's for guests 18 to 35, and with Contiki, travel is so much more than just ticking boxes and saying that you went to a place. It's not about doing things for the sake of just doing them or seeing things just because you feel like you should. With Contiki, travel is about the experience. It's like that single moment that can change your life. It's the people you meet who change your entire perspective. It's a way of thinking and a philosophy. And with Contiki, it's recognizing that you only live once, but if you do it right, that's all you need. And with Contiki, there are over 300 trips across 6 continents, so quite a diversity of product to work from. And so just to set up Contiki as what they're all about, what you see here is Contiki's motto, essentially. So Contiki's motto is, we exist to connect young people through life-changing social travel experiences. They want to enable travelers to become better versions of themselves, and they live life, Contiki lives passionately by one philosophy: to travel with no regrets. So again, Contiki is probably one that you may sell a little bit less of. I mentioned earlier in the presentation that our brands are about 90% sold globally by travel agent partners globally. Contiki is the one difference there, and this is largely because of that audience. Contiki is about 30% sold by travel agents, but we'd love to see travel agents adopt the brand more. It's really excellent. It's so specialized. They're really the leaders in youth travel, and one of the things that we like to say is booking for Contiki doesn't mean that you just have to book young clients, and you may not have a lot of that. The average age for Contiki is 26. So you may not have a lot of 26-year-olds walking in your door, but what you might have is people who might be interested in purchasing a trip for the younger people in their lives. We see a lot of parents, grandparents purchase these as graduation gifts, or they're graduating college and getting ready to go into the workforce and want kind of a cool life experiential gift to give. So keep that in mind for your clients who might be shopping travel for others. So moving from Contiki, we'll talk a bit about CostSaver. So CostSaver is all about giving your clients more bang for their buck. So they have incredible experiences at really unbeatable prices, and they start at just $91 per day. So, and that is still including the transportation, your hotels, the itineraries, and there's over 50 tours. There's 54 across Europe and the Americas. There's lots to choose from. And what makes CostSaver so unique, even though it's considered a budget product, is it's operated by Trafalgar. So it brings in, similar to how U by Uniworld is built and structured by the Uniworld team, CostSaver is such for Trafalgar. So there's a Trafalgar trained travel director. I mentioned that really rigorous training that our travel directors go through to ensure they're incredibly prepared to give your clients the best experience possible. With CostSaver, so a big thing that we always say, which is what you see in the tagline here, is it's value tours, but you're not compromising. All the hotels that you see on this product are 3 and 4 stars. So we're not putting clients in low budget properties. We want to exceed their expectations, not their budget. So you'll see some really cool experiences here. Within CostSaver itineraries, all the sightseeing in the major cities is all included. But why you see this price point a bit lower is because they do build in less to the overall itinerary. And that's to allow people to really have individual time to explore their own interests. So there are a bit less inclusions in the overall CostSaver product to allow for more free time. So they'll show you all the highlights, but then really kind of let your clients, really explore their interests. One of the things that's new for CostSaver for 2018 in their Europe and Britain product is what they call their ready-to-go rate. So that is dynamic pricing that was introduced because one common thing that we heard from agent partners over the last couple of years was that, you work so hard prepping, getting quotes, and then your client just wants to think about it. So dynamic pricing has been slowly introduced in the industry. We know that a lot of other travel companies do it. But with CostSaver Europe and dynamic pricing, it means that if the clients like that rate, it gives them a sense of urgency because that rate could change from day to day. So, and we've seen really great feedback. CostSaver is actually experiencing a wonderful year largely because we've been getting great feedback about this tool for clients because they're able to drive more urgency with their clients. So that's CostSaver. So I mentioned before our cruise to guided. Just look at what our brands, how they line up against cruise lines you might be familiar with. And again, we do this to give you the opportunity to see what your clients that might travel on these cruise lines, who they could line up with. So MSC, Royal Caribbean, Carnival, you'll see a lot of similar clientele and budget ranges that might be interested in CostSaver and Contiki. U by Uniworld is also in this kind of more budget category. They're very, very affordable, but we don't put them here because the experiences on the ships are very far from budget experiences. So it's just something, you'll see that in our next category, but just keep in mind that U by Uniworld price point is actually an excellent, excellent price point. So moving for those, we'll talk about Trafalgar. It's likely that you're familiar with Trafalgar as it's the biggest brand in the travel corporation family. So with Trafalgar, they're all about sharing the good life through travel, whether that's connecting your clients with local families on their famous Be My Guest experiences, to staying in accommodations that have legendary stories, and so much more. Trafalgar is all about those pinch me moments that only they can deliver. They have over 70 years of experience, and every Trafalgar trip promises experiences from those iconic destinations that your clients always wanted to see, but also weaves in unexpected moments that are richer, deeper connections to the people, places, and cultures they'll visit with us. Clients get the real thing, but they don't have to worry about a thing. It's completely hassle-free. The expert team of travel directors and locals in each destination take care of every detail, so your clients are just free to be and enjoy each moment of their travels. Trafalgar has over 230 worldwide trips across 66 countries, a really, really large, diverse group. There's 8 different travel styles, from athleisure, which gives your clients at least 2 nights in each destination, but up to 6, all the way up to discovery, which are those really fast-paced trips that build in a lot of different countries for the clients that really want to fit it in and see it all. I've personally traveled with Trafalgar on 2 occasions, in 3 occasions actually, in Europe, Hungary, and in Costa Rica, and it's incredible. It's such a great experience. I love Trafalgar. I love all the brands, but I actually used to work for Trafalgar, so I love them a little bit extra. So one of the things that we like to chat about is our Trafalgar launched a new website for agents this year. So that's trafalgar.com/agents. They're all about putting agents first. As we mentioned, you guys are such important partners to us because our business is primarily sold through you. So you can find tools here like videos, social posts, brochures, offer flyers, and more. You can search trips, make bookings, our enhanced booking engine, which is also available with Inside Vacations, with Contiki, with CostSaver. This is just a way to really try to help make your lives easier as going to these agent sites and giving you tools to help you sell. So moving from Trafalgar, we'll talk about Brendan Vacations. So Brendan Vacations is also close to my heart, as when I worked on the Trafalgar marketing team, I worked very closely with Brendan and CostSaver. And Brendan's all about taking you personally. So for nearly 50 years, Brendan Vacations has been the premier Ireland and Scotland travel expert. They have a true passion for sharing what they lovingly call their homelands with thousands of guests. And they offer 5 different travel styles, including guided vacations, 4 fully customizable FIT travel styles, which are private chauffeur, locally hosted rail, self-drive, and new for 2018 are golf itineraries. So any way your clients want to travel, Brendan is guided by that mantra of taking you personally, treating every guest with that warm Irish hospitality. And of course, that taking you personally extends to you, our agent partners, and the sales team, the operations team, the team that's in the heart of Dublin, which is a lovely team you see here. They're dedicated to doing everything they can to help making your lives easier. And this team that you see here, they're right in the heart of Dublin, behind what we love to call our shiny blue door. Those of you who know Ireland know that Dublin is famous for all the different beautiful doors in the city. And so this is in Marion Square, and who you see here right in the center, that lovely lady with the beautiful white hair is Catherine Riley. Catherine has been on the team and as the managing director of Brendan for 30 years. So over 30 years. So her and her team are just so incredible. They do such a beautiful job. No one knows Ireland and Scotland the way that they do. The relationships that they have with locals make the possibilities with your clients really unlimited. And the fact that we have a mix of guided and FIT travel styles is really just incredible. And the reason that we're Ireland and Scotland only is to allow that specialty to be just very, very focused. And so Brendan's all about Ireland and Scotland. So what we say is, if it's green, sell Brendan. All right, so going back to a look at our cruise comparisons here. So this is where you're going to see U come up. These cruises that we have on the side here, Holland America Line and Norwegian, you'll see a lot of clients similar that might like Trafalgar, Branded Vacations, and we do put U by Uniworld here. So U, again, is a really, really affordable product, but it also is an incredibly cool experience that we definitely think is in line with Trafalgar and Brendan. So moving up to Insight, and you'll see that we're kind of following that curve that we showed you earlier in the presentation about how that journey for the brands looks like. So Insight Vacations is our premium guided vacations product. It has one of the big differentiators with Insight from a traveling perspective is their coaches, and they have a max of 40. We hear a lot of questions about what are the different group sizes between our brands, and this is one for Insight. So Insight has max of 40, which means that the coaches are the same size as your standard coaches. So Trafalgar, you have a max of 52. And so what they did is essentially just remove rows to build an extra leg room. So that's an extra comfort that comes with the Insight product, which is incredible. And you also get that smaller group camaraderie with Insight. Insight's all about personal, stylish, and seamless, like all the rest of our guided brands. It really is an incredibly seamless, hassle-free experience that makes traveling a breeze for your clients and selling a breeze for you. So Insight has Insight experiences and delicious, authentic dining. They travel and stay in style. There's passionate travel directors that go through that same rigorous training process I've mentioned a couple of times. And Insight's really known for having excellent hotels also. So Insight has over 130 trips across Europe, North America, and the USA and Canada, and North Africa as well. And Insight, you'll see, because it's that premium category, you'll see them really stack up to On the Waterways, Celebrity Cruises. That's a similar clientele that you'll see with these ones here. So moving into what our luxury sector. So the first one that you see here is Luxury Gold. So Luxury Gold is all about life-changing exclusive experiences. They're the hallmark of this brand. Their collection of 42 trips, small group journeys, again, they have a max of 40, but in some of their products, it's a max of 26. So you're seeing even a smaller group here. And they're given the chance to visit just extraordinary destinations, meet remarkable locals, and having very immersive adventures that aren't available to the average traveler. And in 2018, Luxury Gold is taking exclusivity, I should say, to a whole new level with the launch of its new Chairman's Collection. Now, this is a curated selection of unbelievably memorable encounters with European nobles in stunning locales. These are available on 12 of the Luxury Gold itineraries in France, Italy, England, and Austria. So some very, very cool stuff. Our chairman, Mr. Stanley Tolman, used his extensive network that he's built in all the years that he's been in this business since he started this company. And he just has built some very impressive relationships that now he wants to extend to our guests, who, as I mentioned, are really at the heartbeat of everything that we do to ensure that your clients are happy when they're traveling. So, and this collection was inspired by, what Mr. Tolman calls the golden era of travel. So we are very, very excited about this collection. Using that extensive personal connections I mentioned, guests get the opportunity to meet with counts, meet with duchesses and princesses, go behind the scenes at some of Europe's most celebrated castles, estates, and restaurants. So some very, very exciting stuff here. You'll see a lot of Michelin star dining on Luxury Gold. So definitely something worth checking out for your clients that are looking for luxury products. And Uniworld is another one of the brands that you probably have a lot of familiarity with. It's an award-winning river cruise line. It's the world's only authentic boutique river cruise line. It has itineraries and spectacular destinations throughout Europe, Russia, Egypt, and Asia. The company's European fleet features luxurious ships with an average capacity of just 130 guests, so it's a small, intimate experience. And Uniworld has the highest staff-to-guest ratio in the river cruise industry. So they have beautiful, wonderful, enticing shore excursions, world-class gourmet cuisine, impeccable hospitality, and so many other all-inclusive benefits. And Uniworld's been called the most all-inclusive experience on the rivers. So we're very, 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 very proud of this brand. Each ship is without a doubt luxurious. I've been on a Uniworld cruise myself. I've been very lucky to do so with my husband and my parents. And when they say it's a one-of-a-kind floating boutique hotel, that couldn't be more true. The one thing that I specifically recall outside of just the incredible ambiance and experience itself was the unbelievable service. And at Uniworld, what they live by is the credo of no request too large, no detail too small. And I can attest to how true that is. Within the first day, they already knew all of our names, and it was just an incredible, incredible experience. And the all-inclusive shore excursions are for every traveler, and there's over 80 of these experiences. So it's not just about the ship, because you get into, dock in the heart of the cities. There are so many options and very cool things to do that it's not just confined to the trip where you are with ocean cruising. All right, so the Uniworld. So finally we'll move into African travel. So African travel is true destination experts, just like Brendan Vacations for Ireland and Scotland. In fact, African travel has a combined 460 years of combined experience to travel to Africa across their team. They've either lived in or traveled extensively through Africa's top safari destinations, and that makes those specialists dedicated to sharing that knowledge and expertise and building that into those custom itineraries that they build for your clients. African travel is the longest operating US-based travel company that focuses just on Africa. That's all they sell. So they are in over 15 countries, and they have fully customizable FIT, safari, and cultural experiences. This is certainly one that's on my bucket list. We hear nothing but positive feedback about African travel and the beautiful, wonderful team that puts everything together. So finally, that wraps up the brand overview. So we'll look at this final cruise to brand comparison. And so this is where you're going to see scenic Oceania regions, and those will match up really well with Luxury Gold, with Uniworld, and with African travel. You'll see some clientele overlap there. And one of the things that we always like to say, looking at these, is we know that ocean cruising is a huge way to travel. We think it's a great way to travel, and so we're not trying to say don't sell this, sell this. What we're saying is that there's crossover. We know that many travelers do both. They alternate between land and ocean. And so what we hear a lot of the time from our agent partners who aren't really sure, who want to sell guided and are interested in selling guided, is they're not really sure how, because their clients aren't coming in and asking necessarily for a lot of these brands. So we just like to say you actually already have these clients in your database. You just may not have had those conversations yet. So it's really about understanding the type of experience your clients are hoping to have on their vacation, and just seeing that there might be crossover there. So if you ever come up with people who maybe aren't quite sure, look at that ocean cruising set. You'll certainly find some crossover to our brands here. So now that you've met all the brands, one of the things that we like to share that not a lot of people know is we are very loyal to our travel partners, and we reward that loyalty that you give back to us. So when your clients travel with one TTC brand, they get a 5% past guest discount that applies across all TTC brands. So even if they haven't traveled, with that brand before, if they've traveled with another brand, we still consider them a past guest of the family. So if they've traveled with Trafalgar and are interested in an Insight vacation but haven't traveled with Insight before, they still qualify for that past guest discount. And that discount is combinable with other market offers. So I know that Trafalgar and Insight Vacations have their early payment discount going on right now. They're in that final 5% tier that expires on April 30th. So it is combinable with additional 5%, so a good thing to keep in mind. So we'd like to share some tips and tools with you. Now that you've met the family, you know about our discount, we just wanted to share some of what we think, again, can help you sell our brands. And I alluded to this earlier about harnessing that cross-sell potential with ocean cruising. A lot of people alternate, a lot of people have that interest, and more travelers today are looking to diversify their travel experience. And rarely are we seeing a large volume of people that stick to one type of travel only. We do surveys at the end of all of our trips, and many of them do ocean cruising and alternate between different types of travel, like guided or river cruising. And we really encourage you to get in touch with your local district sales manager. They're an incredible resource for you. They can help with trainings. They have a lot of per brand resources. You'll see we'll go through a second some website resources. One is called TTC Update, and we actually have a combined list of all of our DSMs available to you across the brands in that location. And a lot of the brands offer co-op opportunities. So like Trafalgar has what they call travel talks, and we suggest that you partake in those as much as you're able to, because they really offer an incredible opportunity. And then finally, it's all about knowing the offers. So we hear a lot of the times that people don't really know about that 5% past guest discount. So all of the websites do have a pretty robust list of the deals that are out there, but those can certainly help you close the sale as needed. So here's some resources that we want to take a quick look at with you. So on the left-hand side there, you see a list of travel agent websites. Sorry, it looks like one of those got a little step down there. So pardon the formatting. And then at the bottom, you see ttcupdate.com. So ttcupdate.com is a small website. It's actually a work in progress, something that we're working on updating regularly, but you'll see information about all brands there. It's not going to be as detailed as you'll find on the other brand websites, but you can search offers, you can find brochures, you can find your local sales managers. So a lot of good information is there as well, but we definitely encourage you to look through the different individual brand agent websites, as that will really help you get all of those per brand specific tools. And another great tool is our TTC Agent Academy. So the Agent Academy is an e-learning program that's created just for you. It's simple, it's easy to use, and it's just a way to kind of help really immerse you in our brands and help you make your sales process easier. And you can register at ttc.com/agentacademy if you're interested in signing up for that. And the final thing, before we go into questions, is I just like to show, I know we talk about all these things, you hear from a lot of suppliers, but at Travel Corporation, we really walk the walk for it. So the pictures that you see here are from the times that I've traveled with the company and had an incredible time. And many of these are personal vacations. So at the top right there, those are my parents. My husband and I took them on a Uniworld trip in Paris, which was incredible. And I mentioned some of the times that we've been with Trafalgar, the one that you see in the middle where we're standing with that silly frog. My husband and I went on our honeymoon doing a Costa Rica Trafalgar trip. So we believe in our brands, and we believe in these travel experiences, and we choose to experience them ourselves for our own holidays. So I really couldn't encourage you guys more to promote these to your clients, and hopefully you'll get the chance to experience them for yourself, because they're really, really incredible. All right, so with that, I'm more than happy to take any questions.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Erica. I know it was a lot of information, so if you guys have any questions, as I mentioned in the beginning of the webinar, please feel free to go ahead and type those questions in the questions pane, and Erica would be happy to answer those for you. While you're thinking of those, just a reminder, we are going to have a little question competition after we do our Q&A session, where Erica is going to ask a question, and the first person to type in the correct answer is going to win that gift card. So make sure you have your questions tab open and ready to answer that question, because again, the first person to answer it is going to win that gift card. I don't have any questions coming in at the moment, which is a sure sign of a wonderful presentation, Erica. It seems that you've covered almost everything that people would have a question about. If anyone on the call thinks of a question after we get off, please feel free to reach out to myself, or if you have Erica's information, reach out to her. If not, I'd be happy to send her information around to everybody so she can follow up with you guys directly.
Yes, I apologize. I meant to put my email up on these, but I'm happy to just verbally give my email in case anyone needs that. I know I talk really fast. I'm a third generation auctioneer family, so sometimes I'm used to powering through. So if anyone would like my email is erica.bradley@ttc.com, and Erica is ERIKA.Bradley, BRADLEY, @ttc.com. Feel free to reach out to me at any time with any questions. I know we're a big family with a lot of information to share.
Great. Okay, yep, I had one other question come in. It's a little bit of a one-off question that someone has, Erica, so I'll forward that to you after, and we'll get them squared away just for them accessing the TTC brand, so we'll make sure they get all taken care of. Otherwise, if you want to go ahead and ask that question, Erica, we can, if everyone's ready to type in their answers, we can do that prize question and answer.
Yeah, let me just make sure I'm getting here. There we go. Okay, so the answer in one question is, which TTC brand recently had an age restriction of 21 to 45, but it's now open to travelers of all ages? So that restriction has been lifted. Which brand was that? Do you remember?
It looks like we already have a winner, Erica, and the winner is Diane Magnusson. So congratulations, Diane. I will put you in touch directly with Erica. And the answer, I'm sorry, was U by Uniworld.
Great job, Diane. Thanks. Yes, and just want to make sure everyone was aware of that. That's what we anchored with that question, is because that was the communications early when the brand launched. It is no longer just 21 to 45-year-olds. We are very happy to welcome travelers of all ages onto U by Uniworld programs, and we hope that you guys will really get behind it and sell it. And if you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out, and I can certainly get you in touch with one of the Uniworld sales teams if you need to as well, depending on your area, for some more specialized brand help.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Erica. If no one has any other questions, this will conclude today's presentation. We hope everyone enjoyed this information from Erica and our partners at the Travel Corporation. As I mentioned, this webinar was being recorded, and we're going to host it on NACTA's YouTube page for you to watch on demand early next week. We hope everyone has a wonderful afternoon.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.